everyone, once again welcome to our channel Physi Dive, and this is your teacher Alexi Rajan. Today we are going to study a very important topic of class 10 NCERT, that is dispersion of light, and how a rainbow is formed using the phenomenon dispersion of light. So without wasting time, let us dive in straight to the class. So dispersion of light, what do you mean by dispersion of light? Okay, this is a very beautiful phenomenon in the case of a light, and we can simply say that dispersion of light, if I'm just taking a white light, if this white light is passed through any glass material, or precisely a prism, we'll see what is a prism. Prism is actually an optical instrument which is having a rectangular face, three rectangular face, and they are inclined in a triangular form, okay, like this. You can see in a physics lab how a prism looks. It looks like this, okay. So if a white light is passed through this prism, then, okay, like this, then what happens is, inside that glass prism, you can see that a refraction process takes place, and then a very beautiful phenomenon takes place there. That is, this white light is split into 7 colors. Precisely, if I keep a screen here, you can see that a band of 7 colors are formed here. That is nothing but the VIBGYOR, or you can say that VIBGYOR. More precisely, you can draw like this. Okay, that is 7 colors are formed here. So what do you mean by that? So actually what happens here is, this white light, it splits into 7 colors, or 7 basic colors. That is the violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. Okay, and this phenomenon is known as what? VIBGYOR. So in a way, we can say that white light is a combination of 7 colors. This is actually done earlier by Newton. Okay, so what he did was, he just took a disc there and he splits the disc into 7 colors. You can say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And he painted one of the side as violet, and one of the side as indigo, and one side as blue, one side as green, one side as yellow, one side as orange, and one side as red. And then what he did was, he just rotated the disc, colored disc. And what, to his experience, to his surprise, he had seen that while the speed is increasing fast, you can see this disc has become white in color. So from that day, he said that, okay, white is not a single entity, instead it is a combination of the 7 colors, and more precisely we can say it is a VIBGYOR, and we call it as the spectrum of a white light, And the process, the phenomenon in which a white light is splits into 7 colors once it enters through any glass instrument, or more precisely a prism, an optical instrument which looks like a triangular shape, and it is having a rectangular face, and this is known as what? Dispersion of light. And what is the reason behind this dispersion of light? The reason behind dispersion of light is that, just imagine that you have a prism here and a white light. I'm using a red color, but just imagine like this is a white light. As my background is white, I cannot use a white color there. Okay, sorry, excuse me for that. And now the white light, just I'll write it here, right? White light. As it enters the prism, you can hear that each colored light, each color has different speed in different medium. So the actual reason behind is that the light has different speed in different medium. So here you can see the glass prism. The glass prism is a medium there. As soon as the white light enters from air, I'm just saying that from air, it enters a glass prism, and inside the glass prism you can see that this white light just gets splitted into 7 colors, as these 7 colors have different speed in glass medium. As a result, the refraction takes place at different angles. Refraction takes place at different angles. The specialty of this dispersion is that red light is having maximum wavelength. As a result, the velocity is maximum for red light. So what happens there? As the wavelength is larger, the refraction process takes place less, or refraction for red light will be less. That means the angle of deviation for red light will be lesser. Whereas if I'm just taking the least one, that is VIBGYOR, violet. In the case of a violet, you can see that the wavelength is less. Wavelength is small. As a result, the velocity will be less, and so the frequency will be larger. Here in the case of red light, the frequency is lesser. Okay. So in this case, the violet light deviates more. Why? Because the wavelength is less and the velocity is less. So it deviates more as it enters from one medium, that is air, to the glass medium. So the angle change happens here for the red and the violet, and in between colors also, the VIBGYOR. So each and every colors are splitting in different angles, and then they will just again refraction process takes place there. And if I keep a screen here, you can see the beautiful pattern, the white spectrum, the spectrum of white light, as that we call it as what? VIBGYOR. So this is nothing but the phenomenon, we call it as what? The dispersion of light. And using this dispersion of light, we have a beautiful natural phenomenon, and we call it as what? Rainbow. So we'll see how a rainbow is. Now just imagine that a rainbow formation. A rainbow is formed there. Okay, rainbow is actually formed after the rain. You can just observe that after the rain. And the specialty of rainbow is that the sun should be, just imagine that if this is sun, and the person should stand here and see the rainbow in such a way that the sun should be at the back side like this. And after the rain, small droplets of raindrops will be there in this atmosphere. After the rain, in the atmosphere, you can see small droplets of water droplets, okay, or water vapor, water droplets will be there. Okay, and I'm just taking a single water droplet, and I'm just increasing the view. Okay, don't think that this droplet is greater than or bigger than the sun. It's not like that. I'm just taking out one of the droplets from this group of droplets, water droplets, and then I'm just increasing its size, and I'm showing you. Okay, now just imagine that a light ray is coming from the sun, okay, and it enters the droplets. Okay, it enters the droplet, or just single drop. Okay, here the specialty is that this droplets will act like the glass prism. Okay, so what happens here is that as soon as the white light enters the droplets, liquid droplet, water droplet, it undergoes what? It undergoes a refraction process. A refraction process takes place in such a way that the dispersion starts. Okay, why? Because the sunlight is a white light, and this white light is a combination of 7 colors, and the 7 colors have different wavelength and frequency and velocity. As a result, what happens? The refraction takes place at different angles. As a result, the dispersion process takes place. Now you can see the R is formed there, V is formed there. Okay, in between colors are there. Due to space constraint, I am not writing down VIBGYOR. Don't think that only V and R is formed there. It's not like that. All the VIBGYORs are formed here, and the downside you will get violet, and the upper side you will get the red. Why? Because violet deviates more because of low frequency and high frequency and low wavelength, and red deviates less. Why? Because of high wavelength and low frequency. Okay, now here at the other end of the droplet, what happens is the internal reflection takes place. Internal reflection takes place there. Okay, like this. The internal reflection takes place there. And at the other end, this end, again a refraction process takes place there. And you can see that if this is a things there, you can see that VIBGYOR comes out like this. What happens is it reaches your eyes and you can see a beautiful phenomenon of the nature, that is the rainbow there. So a single white light enters the water droplets, and what happens is a refraction process takes place at the first point, and then internal reflection takes place there at this point. At this point, internal reflection takes place there, and at this end again a refraction process takes place, and it reaches your eyes, and you can see a beautiful pattern of the 7 colors or the composition of white colors, that is the VIBGYOR or the rainbow, and this is the formation of rainbow. We call this type of rainbow as what? The primary rainbow. And one more type of rainbow is there, that is the secondary rainbow, that you don't need to study right now. But in the secondary rainbow, what happens is 2 internal reflections takes place. Here only 1 reflection, here 1 refraction, 1 internal reflection and 1 refraction. That means 2 refractions and 1 internal reflection takes place for a primary rainbow, whereas in secondary rainbow, where 2 patterns are shown there, and there you can see 2 refractions and 2 internal reflections takes place there, and we call that particular rainbow as secondary rainbow, that we will study in our 12th standard. So that's all for today's class. I hope that you got the points well and crispy and clear. So we'll come forward with more good topics, important topics of class 10, 11, 12 and 9 standard. So stay tuned, and we need your support in the form of your like, share, comment and subscription. So stay tuned. So we'll see you in the next class. Till then, goodbye.